Hi everyone, very good evening. Can you please switch on your cameras? Please switch on the camera so that we can start the session. Debanjali, Sumi, Raj, Vani, Dr. Nabanita, Irish, Vivo, Manish, Els, Hriday, Ram, Divya. Please switch on your camera, everyone. It's a live workshop, it's a live class. Please switch on your cameras. Okay. So I'll start with my introduction. I am Tanya Chadda. I'm a counseling psychologist and a psychotherapist. I work with corporates as well. I do corporate sessions and trainings in different corporates and PSUs of India. Leadership and psychology hacks. So before we start with today's topic, can you all please raise your hand on Zoom and tell me how many of you are from psychology background? Anyone here from psychology background? Okay, just one person. Okay, two. You don't have to write in the chat box. Please raise your hand on Zoom like Rituji and Shaikh has, Sanya has raised their hands. You can see the react button, the heart on the bottom tab. Click on that heart. There, the second option from the bottom is raise hands. We'll use this throughout the session to talk. In the bottom, check the heart react button. Click on that heart. And the second last option is raise hand. Okay. So now I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people are from psychology background. Okay, great. You can lower your hands now. Now let's try to understand what leadership in psychology is and leadership in the context of IO psychology, obviously. So what's the one word you think defines a great leader? You can again raise your hands on Zoom to answer. Anyone? What's that one word do you think defines a great leader? Yes, Hriday. Hriday, unmute. Okay, Sanya, unmute. Okay, Hriday, Tejasri says confidence. Okay, is anybody there from the backend team? Now you can do na, Sanya. Huh.
Yes, ma'am. I also want to tell confidence.
Confidence, okay. And Dr. Nabanita. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. As per you, what is the one word that defines a great leader?
Ma'am, leading by example.
One word. We just need one word. Okay.
That's
Rituji, maybe we
one
can
word
start
is
till she's
also.
thinking.
Yes, ma'am. Like communication, empathy.
Communication. Somebody who has good communication. Deepika. Deepika, unmute.
I'm speaking convincing power. To be a great leader, we need a convincing power.
Okay. Negotiation skills and convincing power. Okay. Then Dr. Nabita, have you like something in mind? One word. Keep lowering your hands as you speak. Okay. Anita. Anita Reddy.
I'm good listener and good speaker.
Speaker. Okay. Saroja. Saroja, Tejasri, and Vanishri. And then we'll proceed. Unmute, folks. Sacrifice, character, great listener, team management, convincing power. Okay, are you unmuting or shall I proceed?
Yeah.
Yes,
There must be a
Yeah,
team
I want
lead.
to unmute and
team
tell.
leader. Okay. Yes, Saroja.
This is a sacrifice.
Sorry?
The great leader should have a quality of sacrifice.
Sacrifice. Okay. Yeah, Tejasri. Do you want to add on?
Hi, ma'am. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, the great leader should know to lead the team members. He should understand the team members.
Team building, okay, team management, we've already discussed this, but okay, great, thank you. Moving ahead, what is the foundation of leadership in psychology? So now, as you all mentioned, they're fairly correct points, but leadership is not just about communication, team building, or trust. It is also about influential. When you influence others, it's about authority to make decisions. Here in psychology, specifically in industrial or organizational psychology, we train, we teach, we help, we coach people by giving a framework, motivating them on how to become leaders, one for themselves and then for the team. Because it's a duty of a good leader to create more leaders as well. Because retirement is something that is going to happen. And with that, replacement also happens. So a leader's responsibility is not just training themselves, but also helping their team to grow. Right? Now, Cladden's 6 principles of influence. Reciprocity. When we talk about returning favors, people return favors. They give genuine support before asking for help. I can only ask you for help if I have a rapport or if I've done something for you. Right? Commitment and consistency when our actions aligned with our past commitments. You can only ask for favors or you can only ask for help or support, and you will also give also to people that you know are going to reciprocate it, that you know are going to do it for you, that can take one for you. आपको पता है जो लोग हेल्प करेगा ही नहीं, जो सपोर्ट करेगा ही नहीं, उसके पास तुम जाओगे भी नहीं ना अपना हेल्प मांग. Social proof. People follow crowd and trusted people. You want to take this course, you want to learn something new, you want a trainer who has good reviews, who had good feedback, who is somebody who everybody follows. Liking. People are persuaded by those they like or relate to. When you try to find some common ground, you try to find that there's something that we could do together, or our life is on similar lines. That is why in a lot of events or functions, we see a group of ladies talking and a group of men talking, then children playing by themselves because they can relate. Authority, expertise inspires compliance. When you're able to do it, again, when you're able to take one for the team. Scarcity, people value things that is rare or limited. You all want to shop when they say it's a limited time sale. होता है? आप मार्केट गए हो शायद कुकर खरीदने के लिए, बट यू सी क्लोथ्स के ब्रांड पे 75% off just for Independence Day, just for 3 days. You would want to buy something then, even if you don't need it. So when it comes to scarcity or limited value, people want to engage. Human nature. Psychological hacks for leadership. Mirroring and matching. Now, what is mirroring and matching? Our brain is wired to trust, to relate, to connect with people who seems like us. Somebody's body language, tone, pace, it builds confidence. At a subconscious level, it builds rapport. In this group, if we say there are 20 people, 10 of you are from Bangalore, you'll easily be able to gel up and connect with people, have long conversations with people who are from Bangalore because you know similar stuff. And there's somebody, like just one person, maybe from Hyderabad, that would be the least gelled person because nobody knows about Hyderabad and what's the best street food there. So it will take a little more time. So mirroring and matching is what? Where you're able to relate to people. Very similarly, your body language, your tone, your pace, it builds in subconscious rapport with a person. Quick task. Think of your last video call that you had. It could be a professional or a personal video call. Replay it in your head and note, did you naturally copy their tone or gesture? Okay, I'll give you one example, very common. Let's take an example of our grandparents. When they know that the call that they're connected to is from a distance, maybe America से call आया किसी का, they start talking loudly, चिक चिक के बात करने लग जाते हैं. क्यों लगता है अरे अमेरिका से फोन आया ना, आवाज तो बहुत दूर जानी चाहिए. Is it relatable? होता है ऐसा? Right? And when you call somebody for condolences, loss of a loved one, your tone, your pace, your voice, it changes. If you see that person is crying, you will talk in a certain manner. But if you see they're not crying, you will still talk softly. But again, your pace would change. You will try to copy what you get from that situation. Yeah? Any doubts, any queries? Is it relatable, folks? Is it clear? Okay. Great. If you have a doubt, you can raise your hand on the Zoom app itself. Moving ahead, psychological hacks for leadership. Name recall power. People respond more positively when they're addressed by name. In virtual or offline work mode, building a human connection is harder. But it could be powerful because you might remember the name of the person. Now write down the name of 5 people you work with regularly. Hi Deepika, please stop annotating. I expect all of us to behave like adults in the workshop. No annotating on screen. Can you please remove it? Don't distract. Let me teach. Okay, no annotation on the screen, folks. Please behave like adults. Now, okay, where was I? Now, 5 people that you work with regularly. Now, again, this could be in a personal or a professional space. If nothing, then maybe your housemaid, maybe your security guard or your vegetable vendor. Beside each, note down something unique about them. Project, hobby, personality, whatever. Or maybe how do they talk, how do they dress up, how do they behave? How do they wish you when they see you first thing in the morning? This exercise would train you to recall names with context and it sticks to memory better. Can we all do this? Yeah, after the session? If you want, you can take a screenshot of this slide. So when you recall the person, not just by their name, again, by their habits, by their surroundings and how they dress up. We also describe people like that as well. Like the lady who always wears sari and a big bindi. We do that. Primary effect. People remember the first thing they hear most strongly. So in leadership, communication and open statement sets the tone, sets the level of meeting. We usually say don't judge the book by its cover, but it's actually vice versa here. You actually judge the book by its cover here. That's how you present yourself. So first impression is the last impression is something that we are going to focus on for this. Again, in a notebook, write down 2 opening lines for the same situation. A neutral, fact-based opening and inspiring, motivating based opening. Compare which one you feel is more engaging and which one would you hear or would you like to hear from a leader or which one you could use if you are a leader. If you have to present yourself. Next is your 2-option choice framing. So instead of asking what do you want, give guided choices. Shall we meet for the lunch or for the campaign? Shall we plan an event either on Tuesday or Thursday? This gives you control over the situation and it reduces the chances of getting a negative response, a no response. Because you are giving some certainty कि ये हो तो रहा है, कब हो रहा है वो आप बता दो. Right? So the person perceives that it is in control, that you are in control. Task your, pick a real decision you need from someone this week. Write it down as a yes/no question and write down 2 choices. Let's see which gives you your preferred outcome. Try this method. Emotional labeling. So acknowledge feelings first and then solve the problem. So people who are from psychology background, do you know about empathy? Anyone here who is unaware about the word empathy or what empathy is? Anita, you don't know what's empathy? Can you unmute? Yeah? Anyone who is not aware about empathy? Okay. So the first thing that we say to our client when they come after a stressful situation or after a traumatic experience is that we empathize with them. We don't jump to conclusions. We don't jump to asking a lot of questions. The first thing is that we empathize with them. We always say we are sorry for your experience. This gives their brain a trigger and they feel safe and calm down. Because they feel acknowledged. They feel that they've been heard. Hriday, stop annotating. Quick task. Recall a recent moment when somebody was upset. Write down one sentence that you could have used to name their emotion. I know this could be overwhelming. I understand you're feeling rushed. Try to understand how this would change the tone before you solve the problem. With this, I will give you an add-on tip about communication because I think it's important whether or not you are from psychology background or want to pursue psychology. Whenever we have a conversation with somebody, whenever we are talking to somebody, we always talk to people to respond to them. Yes? Fair? Human? If you're listening to me, if you're talking to me, we're having a conversation, you're listening to me because you want to respond to me. Now, think of a space where you listen to somebody and vice versa, somebody listens to you just to listen to you and not to respond. Do you think conversations would be a little more deeper and things will be a little more clear? Yes or no? Can I get some hand raises here? Do you agree? Do you understand what I'm saying? Does it make any sense? Okay, have you had your lunch? Anybody who's hungry? Tired? Sleepy? Because I see a very dead group. Please respond, folks. Use the react button. Let me know that you're here. You need water? Is it boring? Am I acting weird? I'm not sharing screen. Maybe show your reaction. What is it? Why is it such a low energy group? खाना खाया सबने? किसी को भूख लगी है, नींद आ रही है, वॉशरूम जाना है, क्या हो गया? मुंह धो के आ जाओ. ऐसे मत करो प्लीज. मैं बहुत एनर्जेटिक हूँ on a Friday evening. Okay. Any doubts, any queries here? I'm just trying to make it simpler for you as much as possible, giving real life examples. Anything, any doubts, any queries, any issues? I don't want to see sleepy faces. Thank you, Ritu, for giving me a heads up. Folks, I can only see 2 to 3 screens when I'm sharing my screen. So a reaction on Zoom would really help me and keep me motivated. Can you all please do that? It's a humble request. You're giving time, right? 1 hour of your life, of your weekend. Let's make it What? या नहीं बोर हो रहे हैं, बस आई थी कुछ बोल के चली गई ट्रेनर, ऐसे ही कुछ भी नहीं? Please engage. It will be really great if you do, okay? Okay, in case you have doubts or queries, please raise your hand on Zoom. I will cater to all of your questions. All these quick tasks that I'm giving you, this is for you to reflect on after we end this workshop. So try doing that. Okay, let's start again. I would love to see some enthusiasm, some reaction, and I don't want to talk to blank screens. Now, science as a tool. A few seconds of pause after asking a question create space for deeper answers. And 3 seconds of pause after somebody has spoken what they want to gives a bandwidth and understanding, better understanding of what they've spoken about. So, for example, if I am having a conversation with Vanishri, and Vanishri keeps talking, and the moment she stops, or maybe in the middle I keep interrupting, and the moment she stops, I start talking. बहुत rush हो जाए. Maybe when she stops talking, I take a pause, okay, and then I talk. Will give us a breather, both of us, and I'll be able to understand better. Similarly, when you ask questions, let the other person and maybe to yourself give a breather. How does it make you feel? Write it down if this happens. Write down one scenario where you can use 5 to 7 seconds pause to encourage a thoughtful answer. And a leadership hack in presentations, pause after key points, let them sink in. Give them a bandwidth to ask questions. Yes, Dr. Nabanta. Can you unmute?
Hi, ma'am. I had just one confusion. If the person in front keeps on talking, sometimes it goes lengthy. So, like they are shifting from one topic to another topic. Is it fine that in between we can gently, stop them, asking them politely, then that can I say something? Then just cover some my words about that topic, and then I
you
can
do that.
let him or
You
her.
can do that. See, the way you do
Yeah,
it,
because
the more
some
mindful you are about the conversation is very important. And see, it's not just this. Okay, so there are different techniques which we do in the detailed course as well. There is paraphrasing, again, mirroring and matching it on a better level. So there are multiple tools that we study that obviously takes a little more time. But these are the basics, these are the crux that I'm telling you. So when you use paraphrasing, you ultimately achieve your goal. Okay?
Yeah.
Any other doubts or queries, anyone? Okay. Okay, perfect. Now, the model where we talk about motivation by David Rock 2018, SCARF model. Status, giving advice or instruction, offering feedback, performance, and reviews. This is the threat. Now, the reward is beating one's own best time at a task or sporting activity, receiving positive feedback. Certainty, when you don't know what a boss is expecting, something can come abruptly. But the reward could be you might get clear objectives in the beginning of the discussion, and breaking down of the tasks into smaller parts would be possible. And this is what we teach to our clients during coaching as well. Autonomy. Being micromanaged is the threat, but the reward of autonomy would be allowing people to organize their workflow and working hours. So you're not controlling them and people are being their fullest. Relatedness ka threat, meeting somebody unknown, meeting from a different culture. Reward could be setting up mentoring or coaching systems at work, having a friend at workplace, a professional friend. Fairness, your threat would be lack of ground rules, expectation, or objections. Reward would be transparency, doing volunteer work. Clear? Any doubts, any queries, anyone? Yes, Mr. Rao. Okay, unmute.
Am I audible now?
You are.
Okay, ji, namaste. So this model of staff, could you please explain what you mean by threat and what you mean by reward, and how we are setting up a scenario for this particular thing for us to apply in our profession or in
Okay.
person?
So, status, for example, a CEO of a company. Okay? So the status is that there are CEO of a company. The threat would be giving advice or instruction, or maybe offering feedback or performance reviews could scare the employees away from the company. Maybe they could do too much. They have to be very mindful while doing all these tasks. I'm just talking on the basis of their status in their company. But the reward will be that they will be beating their own time or at a task. Maybe they would keep pushing themselves to work more because they're the CEO of the company. And when things grow, when things get better, obviously a positive feedback is something that they receive. So, for example, if you really appreciate Domino's pizza, right? Have you tasted Domino's pizza? The taste is 99% same in all the stores. So when you give a positive feedback, it's not just for the employees who make it, it's for the founder as well who has created Domino's pizza. But similarly, if you write a negative review on Domino's pizza, the threat also goes to the CEO, right? So there are pros and cons which we are trying to discuss. Pros are your rewards and cons are your threats. Is it clear? Make sense now? Unmute.
Still, I'm not able to catch. Probably, I'm missing some point here.
But
This is the scenario. What you are trying to say is, if I am an employee of a company and assume you are the CEO of the organization, is that the scenario, for example? And then the threat is when I am saying something to you. Is that the threat?
no.
When I'm
So it's
giving
not
an
about me and
instruction.
you. It's not about me and you. We're just talking about one person here. So if you are the employee of the company,
Okay.
right, your threat could be that you could get a negative feedback. Or maybe you
I'm
give an
getting a
advice
feedback
that
from
is
the
not
HR.
being accepted. Okay, your
From my
performance reviews goes down. These could be your threats as an employee of the company. But if you perform well, if you beat your own time, if you are a sports person and if you take things very positively, maybe a negative feedback. For example, I give you a negative feedback and you're like, okay, this is a chance where I could learn and improve. That would be a reward, right? Yes or
So,
no?
sorry to interrupt. That means to say, in a given organization, my status, what is my status? Say, for example, I'm in a hierarchy at a higher level of the position. Maybe I'm at the
Yeah.
top management or something like that. And then in my scenario of my position, the threat is of giving an advice or an instruction or
Yes, so these are very
offering.
generalized examples that I've given. So, what we are trying to explain here is that there are pros and cons to every situation.
So the person could be in the pyramid in different levels of the hierarchies, and
Yeah,
within
it
that
could follow on
hierarchy,
any level. Yes,
uh,
on any level, from a peon to a CEO, any level.
yeah. So now I'm saying at every level there is a threat and there is a reward for that particular being, for that particular position when you are interacting with the other person. Is that the meaning?
You are interacting or your performance or your presence, whatever. Yeah, maybe if you're working on a project alone, then you're not interacting, no, it's just your thing. So if
Hmm.
you achieve, it's for you. If you don't achieve it, the company is going to get benefit from it. But maybe it's a solo project. So the level of satisfaction and happiness is also dependent upon that. Again, the failure as well. Clear?
I'm a little bit still not clear. Sorry for that. But maybe
Okay, maybe we'll come to that towards the end now because I
later.
have to proceed as well. Yes, Rahulji.
Ma'am, in this I've got, I mean, similar doubt I had with Mr. Rao had.
Sorry, can't hear you.
I had a similar doubt with Mr. Rao had.
Okay.
Here you're saying that as an employee at a particular position, there is a threat. I can get a negative feedback also. And if I
You could
perform
be
well,
micromanaged. You could meet somebody whom you're not very comfortable with. You are unable to meet your expectations, or the company is not able to meet your expectations. Your boss is not acting properly, or maybe there is somebody in the company who is not behaving properly to you. All of these are threats here. Okay?
okay, okay,
Now, when it comes to reward, yes, you can perform well. You maybe take a target that I'm gonna get profit of 5 crores, but you get 7 crores reward. You get positive feedback, you get appreciation, right? Next step, you can break down things. So maybe if there is a certainty that I give you a project and you have to do it by yourself, you have a free hand. You get to decide how to do, where to do, and how much to do. There is a deadline that you have to complete it by the end of this month. Micromanagement and everything is in your control. You get to decide that. Maybe if you're at a good position, you get to decide which people do you want to choose in your team. So you allow people, you organize workflow, and you also allow your work hours. The company is available 24 hours. You can either work from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock, maybe, or 9 o'clock to 6 o'clock, or whatever. So there's a flexibility in autonomy that you get. You're not being micromanaged. You just have to do things the way you want to. The work has to be done.
okay.
आपको मैंने एक टास्क दिया 10 दिन में करने के लिए, अब वो आप 1 दिन में खत्म करो या 8 दिन में खत्म करो, I don't care. So I'm giving you that freedom. That freedom also feels and gives a lot of positive work from the employees of the company. And when you are transparent, when there is fairness, people also practice some sort of volunteer work and transparency. If you know that your company pays well, if you know that your company takes care of you, you won't hesitate to work maybe extra 2 hours on a weekend. Now, how this all is related to leadership, we will come to that. But please tell me, is it clear till here? You see how does things work in different levels? Yeah.
Okay.
Now, if you are in the reward section or you are in the threat section, your leaders play a very, very important role. Now, how does they play an important role? By guiding you, suggesting you, motivating you, and holding your hand. Your leader also will know where do you lag behind and where do you need a little bit extra support. You get it from the leaders. They arrange workshops for you. They arrange trainings for you. That is when your IO psychologist comes into the picture. Clear? How does it work? Okay. Now moving ahead, the halo effect in leadership. So first, very positive impression about a leader. They can rate people on the basis of their qualities. All of their qualities. For example, if I am the CEO of the company and somebody comes to me who has an experience in marketing, the other person has an experience in sales. The workshops, the trainings, the development or growth that I'm going to provide them, or the job roles that I'm going to give, would be basis on that. If the leader is confident and approachable, people would be able to connect to them better. If you know that your manager is a very sadava person and he doesn't want to listen to you, you will hesitate in reaching out to them. That we call a toxic work environment. And for example, if there is a mistake that the team member makes, the leader would take charge for it. The leader would take for a team. And this is what I keep repeating again and again. It's very important to have that heart to accept everybody as a team. Moving ahead, expectations shape performance. When leaders expect great things from people, they perform better. You set a benchmark that your limit was 5 crores, but you made 7 crores. Simple example. Me as your leader would now expect you to jump to maybe 7.5 or 8. I'll keep pushing you for that. And in return, I would say if you do 8, you will get 10% of the extra profit that you make. So by doing this, I'm also giving you a reinforcer. Reinforcement has been given. Will that motivate you? Will that motivate you? Yes or no? that you get extra 10% of the extra profit that you make. That is why we have incentive-based jobs as well. But a leader should be open to do that. When you talk about incentives, when you talk about referrals, you talk about appraisals, who does that? Leaders. They help you in boosting your confidence. Because when a leader says, I can trust you, if we can do this, you can do 10 steps ahead as well. It will also enhance your efforts, and definitely the results would come for everybody's benefit. Now, loss of aversion and motivation. People fear losing something more than they desire gaining it. True? Human emotion. We always have that fear somewhere inside us. पता नहीं होगा, मिलेगा नहीं मिलेगा. And the first thing that we think is negative. The approach that comes in is negative. So your leaders can motivate you in framing better goals. And again, taking one for the team. Right? Talking about plan B as well. If we don't achieve, by chance if we fail, we'll take questions in the end. Please note it down. What do we do then? How do we act then? How do we behave? And where do we move forward with it? So how do they accept failures is also a very important insight. Because the way the leader is going to accept failure, the team is going to do. Have you watched that movie, Kapil Dev ka movie on cricket? That 1960 wala World Cup, the first World Cup that India won. Please watch that movie. It's a suggestion. It's weekend. Watch that movie and see how Kapil Dev became and how he presented himself as a great leader and why India. Very good movie. Okay. Now a quick activity on leadership. We'll apply multiple leadership psychology principles in one scenario. So pick up. You all have pen and paper with you? Oh, the chat box is flooding. Yes, 1983. Okay, I'm not very good at cricket. I don't watch cricket. Sorry, folks, it's 1983. Kapil Dev ka, you all know. Watch that movie. Okay, do you all have pen and a paper with you? Or maybe phone mein notes ka app or something? Great. Okay, perfect. I can see a couple of pen raisers. Imagine or pick a real life situation. And in 5 minutes, write down the first impression. One quality you will show first. Encouragement, one positive expectation you will set. Motivation, one loss if the action isn't taken. Role model, one behavioral you will demonstrate. Ending, one strong closing line. You all become your own leaders for 5 minutes. Pick up a situation, whatever. Maybe, you had to crack a deal and you could not. Maybe you had to get funding, but you didn't get it. What would you do in that scenario? How would you react? Can we all take a screenshot of this? Yeah? Try this activity and see what all you come up with. Next is communication psychology for leaders. Again, communication, a very important part. And when we talk about communication, we don't just talk about things that we hear. We also focus on the body language of a person. We focus on the non-verbal clues of a person. How are they saying? What are they saying? Right? At times, people don't say things, just enact. For example, if I do, I'm not asking you to keep quiet, but I'm just enacting it and the message is received that I'm asking you to keep quiet. This is the science of first impression and trust building as well. How do you present yourself? How do you start your pitch? What do you represent? The power of framing and reframing messages. When we talk about reframing all the negative beliefs, all the negative messages that we give ourselves. Active listening and empathy. Non-verbal communication. When we talk about your body language and tone mastery. Motivating and inspiring teams. Reinforcements. Anybody here who's not aware about reinforcements or want to know what reinforcement is? Any doubts on reinforcement? Okay, I'll give one example. Whenever you want a kid to do something, you always try giving them something in return. खाना खा लो, बाद में chocolate मिलेगा. Homework कर लो, फिर TV देखने को मिलेगा. So that TV and that chocolate is a reinforcer. You do something and you get some. Now this could be positive and negative. Because you fail in your test, you'll not watch TV for 10 days. That's a negative reinforcer. But we use positive reinforcements with adults, specifically in your industrial setups. Storytelling is also a great leadership tool. You learn when you explore, you learn when you read more. Creating psychological safety for innovation. When people can come and talk about different things, they will also say that they're not feeling well emotionally. Yesterday was my industrial psychology class, and one of my students mentioned that, ma'am, in today's time, a lot of companies hire trans people as well, but they're not accepted. People make fun of them. They're not welcomed. What do we do in this case? You all think about it. What an organization can do to make it work for them. Because if they're hiring, they are the organization's responsible. So psychological safety in different parts. Your second example, which I want you to go back and think about, is a lady who is going for a maternity leave. The discrimination that happens, how would you provide psychological support for them? And your motivation theories that are applied to leadership. Next is influence without authority. When we try to build credibility and rapport, networking. Again, psychological or informal leadership network. We try to take leverage of social proofs within the team. We don't just connect with our employees, with our friends, or with our colleagues in the office space. Do you know why these companies do office parties? There are fun Fridays. There are pool tables, gym, and even language classes in your office space so that people can network, they can trust, they can build healthy relationships. And it helps with team building as well. Handling high pressure situation. We talk about stress in psychology. So a leader also helps you, guides you, and motivates you with your emotional regulation, cognitive reframing during crisis, and better communication in terms of uncertainty. How do you express yourself? How do you communicate? Do you feel that it's safe to communicate? Is the biggest question. Next is your conflict management and difficult conversations. A win-win situation when we are assertive and empathetic and not taking any sides. The conflict has to turn into a collaboration. Cross-culture diversity in leadership. Different dimensions in communication. We talk about different types of leadership styles. This could be psychology or your unconscious bias. For example, there are two people who don't like working with each other. Right? Could happen in a big organization that they don't like working with each other. When you want them to work together, do you think you can straight away give them a task and they'll perform great? No. We need to build upon a connection where they get to know each other better. Maybe try hanging out after working hours. Similarly, people from different culture, a North Indian working in Bangalore, needs to feel accepted, needs to feel that they are a part of team. So maybe you're eating chole bhature and dosa together. That is when we try to make a cultural inclusive teams in corporates. When we celebrate all the festivals. And we get to know each other better. Self-determination theory in leadership. So the origin happened by the psychologists Edward and Richard in 1985 and 2000. Their core idea was that people perform better, They stay motivated within the 3 basic psychological principles. Number 1 is autonomy. When you can make decisions, when you can take control, you can take charge of the work that you're doing. You have control over it. Competence. You feel that you are enough, skilled, capable of meeting challenges. People who are into sales or negotiations goes through a lot of trainings. Why? When you do a customer care call, they usually say this call will be recorded for training purposes. Ever heard? That is the example. They put people in such situation, they do role playing to meet the challenges and relatedness when they feel connected, when they feel a part of the team. So the motivation has to come from inside and outside both. Then we talk about reinforcements, rewards, your perks, bonus, extra leaves, or maybe incrementation, so forth and so on. Your leader-member exchange theory. The core idea here is that leaders don't treat all team members same. The relationship could be different. Trust could be different. This could be on the basis of their performance. This could be basis of their availability, on the readiness. We all have seen that one job of the boss. Unconsciously, the groups have been created. Now the leader knows whom they can trust and who needs a little more help and support. There are some out groups as well that are less engaged. Where do we come in? Where do IO psychology comes in? When we try to expand, we try to enhance the quality of relationship and make everybody inclusive, the part of the team. That is why we do team building activities. That is why we do team bonding activities, which you will do in the course, within the class itself. That is why we teach, we preach, and we play games around empathy. Next, VUCA leadership. The core idea is to get into the vision, understanding, clarity, and agreement. Again, for business leadership, vision, clear directions. Yeah, Rahulji, I told you, this is the task that is given to you. Do it in 10 days. However you do, I don't care. आप रात को करो, सुबह करो, दोपहर में करो, मत सो, पूरा दिन सो. I don't care. This is the task. You do it. And I've given you a direction. These are the 10 types of samples. Refer them out. Understanding. You need to know the environment better. Where you're working, how you're working, and what is going to happen. Is it a safe space? Clarity. When we try to simplify the complexity, we try to simplify the task. So I'm not just giving you a task, I'm also explaining you how to do that. And quick adaptation. This would help people to absorb, accept, and adapt quickly. Micro leadership moments. The core idea is that there should be basic, small, daily interactions. You don't have to give big speeches. You don't have to make big decisions, but some sort of communication should happen every day. Very common example is your sutta breaks. In the offices, people go and smoke. Now there is a separate group of people who smoke and a group of people who don't smoke. There are dabba friends who shares their lunch together, and there are friends who always order. Right? So the basic connection, small interaction is very important. In a lot of organizations, when they do crowd work, when they do sales related job, there are motivational meetings, there are feedbacks, there are interactions. It's mandatory. It's part of your office curriculum. Complimenting each other, appreciating each other, contributing to their work really helps. A hack: start each day with one intentional leadership act, a message, a check-in, or a public recognition. And when I see it, I see that you interact with everyone, even the peon of the company. When he says salam saab, you say good morning with a smile. And that makes you a great leader, because then you're treating each and every one of your employees equally. Interesting facts about leadership. Small wins effort. The hack here is, maybe I've given Rahulji a task for 10 days and he comes after 3 days and say, ma'am, देखो मैंने 60% complete कर दिया. The task is not 100% complete, maybe 60 or 50% complete. We are going to appreciate that as well. I'm going to congratulate on doing 50-60% of the task in first 3 days also. So when you celebrate, you give reinforcers on the small milestones. That is a small win effort and it makes a lot of difference. Listening. Again, listening to listen, not to respond. So there's this 30-70 rule. Listen 70% of the time and talk 30% of the time. Again, depending upon the situation. The illusion of transparency. There's one thing that I always suggest to my students, and today I'm going to say this to you as well. Transparency is very important, but never trust that you know 100% about your client. Because you never know. So people can read into emotions, people can ask probing questions. But transparency is just an illusion. You cannot know anybody 100%. And this I'm saying after working with people for almost 8 years now. There's always that one part that you don't know. So be aware about this illusion. Okay, we need one volunteer from the group to read the case study. Paula? Hi, can you read it for us? Unmute?
Ma'am. So you want me to read this?
Just read the case study. This is how we do. We take one volunteer from the group to also participate, read and all that.
Okay, done.
Go ahead.
So case study 1, inspiring under pressure. So it's a case study. A manufacturing unit faces a sudden quality issue. The delivery deadline is just 5 days away. The team is anxious. The leader uses emotional labeling, primary effect, and it's what effect is this?
Okay, leave it.
To acknowledge fear.
Fears.
Yes, starts with the motivating message and express belief in the team's ability. So technique used, emotional labeling to reduce stress, primary effect to set a positive tone, and some effect to boost confidence. So outcome, the team stays calm, collaborates effectively, and meets the deadline.
Now, which hack helped the leader calm the team's anxiety? Emotional labeling to reduce stress? Yeah. How does it help? When you know what's going on, you feel that you are in better control of it. And that's how things go in a positive direction. You know your triggers as well. I know I'm going to go to this wedding and this auntie is going to come that I don't like. I will manage myself. I will be able to handle it better. But if in case I go to this event and this auntie that I don't like, she comes, I'm going to be triggered and want to run away from. Next, how did starting with a motivation statement influence others? So usually when something bad happens, this comes to our mind. किसका मुंह देख के उठा मैं सुबह? What is the first thing that I saw or did in the morning? So when you start with a positive statement, when you start with a positive morning, your day with positivity, we talk about affirmations. We all do, right? We always say that these affirmations, use it first thing in the morning. Get up, look yourself in the mirror, and start talking positive stuff. 3 positive things you talk about yourself. So when the starting is good, it impacts the outcome and the impact is positive. Okay, can we do this quiz quickly? Everyone, you can write down the answers in your notebook. Done, everyone? Four questions completed? Have you completed the quiz? You've written the answers? Okay. What's the answer for the first one? A, B, C, or D? You can unmute and talk. Anyone? Okay, are you folks not able to unmute yourselves? Sangeeta says A. No, that's not correct. B. Yes. Yes, Shri. B is the correct answer. Second. What's the answer for second? Yeah? B is correct. Yes. Again. Third. Okay. Yes. A is correct. Fourth. No, B is not correct for fourth. What's the answer for fourth? Yes, Sangeeta. Great. A is correct. So I'm sharing the answers and I hope all of you enjoyed the class. Okay. Yes, Rituji. Yes, it's BBAA.
Yes, ma'am. The answers are correct.
Okay, great. So it was lovely meeting all of you and I hope to see all of you in the course as well. All the best. Take care of yourself and yeah, have a great weekend ahead. DB certificate and all these questions are for the backend team. I'm not aware, sorry. Okay, bye-bye.